I want you to be successful for your goals and to be able to push past different things blocking that, whether it's emotional or just anything in your life. So we're going to discuss an aspect of that today on this audiobook podcast. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence and just some things that you can keep in mind so that nothing will block you from your dreams. And this is the audiobook podcast. At the end, for the bonus, I will read you the excerpt from my published fictional drama so you can ride along with the frontline workers rescuing those in crisis of mental, physical, and spiritual. And we will get to that at the end as a bonus, but first we're going to talk about your emotional intelligence and being successful in life. So what is emotional intelligence? Some things that describe it: it's an ability to perceive and understand other people's emotions and how they're feeling. That's such a valuable tool and skill to have. And also that starts with an awareness of our own personal strengths and limitations, things that we need to work on, digging into and discovering how to have more self-acceptance and be more self-confidence. And I'm definitely here for you on this channel, Nurse Ann's Inspirational Wellness and nurseann.com, to help you break out of those boxes, those barriers that keep you feeling stuck in your own self-limiting thoughts. Also, an ability to accept and embrace change also highlights emotional intelligence. Being curious and about things in life and about other people's experiences. Also, feeling empathy and concern for others. And I am a nurse on the front lines of emergency and mental health, and still going, and definitely see a need that people would like others to understand them and show that empathy and concern and that kindness. Showing that sensitivity for the feelings that other people have. Accepting responsibility for our own mistakes. I know sometimes that's a hard one that we don't want to embrace. And then, of course, the ability to manage emotions in those difficult situations, no matter what you do in life, at school, at work, at home, in the community. Those emotions can flare up and rise up, and sometimes it is difficult to handle that in the moment if we haven't previously been working on that for our best life and achieving our goals. And emotional intelligence, as I said, we're perceiving emotions of ourselves and others. We're learning how to reason with those emotions, and there are ways that you can learn about that and understanding our emotions and managing them. So I really want you to dig in to having more emotional intelligence. Research that, dig into that. It's going to help you in your life achieve your goals and have success, and no matter what it is that you're trying to do. So before we jump into my published fictional drama, I'm going to read you some inspiration from some of the published devotionals that will help you on that path to having that empathy and emotional intelligence so you can be successful. And as I said, I'm Nurse Ann. I'm a nurse on the front lines of mental health and emergency. Make sure you follow this channel, follow this page, like it, leave your comment today, and it's going to be a bonus at the end for the published fictional drama. So we're going to jump into something to encourage and inspire you. So the first one is from my Ignite Life Poetry Devotional just released. And through this, we're going to learn to dig into and discover our passions and let that spill on to the lives of others so they can be blessed and you can be blessed in return. And today I chose one entitled Kindness, because I am also, in addition to being your favorite nurse and new indie author, I'm a new spoken word artist. Let me know what you think in the comments about this one. It's titled Kindness, because kindness does tie into emotional intelligence, helping you become a better person for yourself and others, and just tuning into what others needs, and that does help you and others to be successful. So Kindness by Nurse Ann. And you can also follow me at nurseann.com. That's Ann with an E. See in the description, nurseann.com. So Kindness just takes a moment to be kind. Speak to the heart and also to the mind. Maybe just a smile is all that they need, without having to beg or even to plead. When you brighten someone's road, blessings for both will explode. Rich treasures are free for me, he, and she. You have this gift already within. Don't keep it locked up, safe in a bin. Unlock the key. Let it loose and let it fly free. Let it spill. It won't make a mess. Only to gladden and ultimately to bless. And this is also a devotional, and it just reminds you that, and me, reminds us that kindness is a precious commodity in our hectic paced routines. Sometimes it can make or break whether we feel stressed or a sense of calmness and peace. And I know it's good to share kindness, and it's so great when we receive that. So I hope this does inspire you to show kindness to yourself and let that spill onto others. And as I said, Ignite Life Poetry Devotional by Nurse Ann. Link at the website. I want you to live an ignited life as you learn that emotional intelligence and achieve your goals. And then the next one that I chose today to help us on this road also is from my Mental Healing Poetry Devotional, where we discuss life challenges, getting over our mindsets controlled by fear. Today I chose one called Caged to Conformity, because part of achieving our goals and emotional intelligence, sometimes we feel like we have to just fit into a certain mold of society, of what everyone else is doing. But part of being successful is learning how to, of course, getting along with others, but breaking out of certain molds, just a stuck, limited way of thinking that you have to be in life. So Caged to Conformity by Nurse Ann. Follow this page and leave a comment after this. Are you stuck in a cage? Your life limited to just one page. Your heart cries out to engage, while your soul fire sparks up a rage. Of course, deep down, you really know why. In his word, God never told us to just comply, but instead to soar. Like an eagle, we must fly. Loose the shackles away from the ground and head for the sky. We were not made to conform, even though mediocrity rules the norm. Allow his spirit to change and release. Take a hold of something new. Allow him to reform. So today, yes, out of that cage you must break. Rip off those shackles by force, or if need, by an earthquake. Grab a hold of the vision, and with a past, make a clean break. And the devotional part, first of all, Proverbs 29:18 inspires us that where there's no vision, that we're going to fall away, perish, but we're happy when we do grab a hold of that vision. Vision is important, don't you agree? And as I said, part of having a vision, goals in life, is learning skills like emotional intelligence, among other things. So the devotional part speaks to me that mediocrity and complacency do not have to define your life. We can choose wise but courageous paths that will be influential to ourselves, our families, and those touched by our character. Many times in scripture, ordinary people received instruction to take courage. They were advised to trust in the Lord and seek his stronger will. God can send people to help us, and heavenly armies that we might not know are protecting us. So lift your head. It's not over yet. Carry on and don't be afraid. As I said, this is from my Mental Healing Poetry Devotional. Link at nurseann.com. That's Ann with an E. Continuing on this path for your success and emotional intelligence, I chose today from my Inspiration Battles devotional, which helps us with soul searching with a dose of encouragement. So today I chose, it's actually about our job. So on our jobs. So does your 9 to 5 or whatever hours you work seem tedious and mundane sometimes? Do you feel stressed on your commute and worried about the tasks that you have to complete for the day on your job or at school? Most of us long for the clock to reach that exciting hour we can head for home. How would it feel to be energized for our work as a purpose-driven mission, whether you're in school or working or even at home in the community? How would that feel for what you do to be energized for a purpose-driven mission? Think about that. Do you have a passion for your life's work, but sometimes feel drained after being in proximity to others that continually complain about their work or whatever they're doing in a negative fashion? Suppose you feel as though you're on a treadmill of drudgery. In that case, I pray that while you're waiting for your dream career, your niche of service, you can use your creativity where you're planted right now to bring joy to others and revitalization to your surroundings. We can increase our motivation for our work when we remember that we are on that mission with God and it's all for His glory. So that's Inspiration Battles Devotional. I want you to be inspired, and I know sometimes that can be tough, and that is part of emotional intelligence, digging into our own emotions and teaching ourselves, learning how to stay inspired. And so again, on the Word Puzzles Devotional, I'm going to give you another inspiration. This is my Word Puzzles Devotional. These are interesting words linked to everyday life and our inner thought struggles, along with relevant biblical prescriptions to get your dose of wisdom and inspiration, because I do want you and others to overcome and thrive. It's hope and light for your journey, medicine for your soul. I want you to have that light, to shine that to yourself and others. Today I chose popularity. Once again, it's kind of like that caged conformity where sometimes we feel like we have to fit in certain molds and keep trying to stay popular in a certain fashion. But sometimes that can cause us to not want to try new things and break out of certain molds and boxes. So popularity. And normally I give the definition, and for this one, I says I don't think that we necessarily need the definition spelled out for popularity. Most of us know what that is. So what have we done and then regretted in order to gain acceptance and approval from others? Spent more than we could afford on ourselves, our clothes, or in a car, gave away too much of ourselves, used flattery or manipulation, lied, gossip. Fill in your own blanks and leave that in the comments after you follow. If only I'd known this life concept before I jumped through certain hoops. True favor is bestowed. Integrity, honesty, kindness. Yes, integrity, honesty, and kindness. These are some emotionally intelligent traits to help you on your life. So integrity, honesty, kindness are just some of the traits that we display when we're walking in the will in favor of God. When we're on that right path in life, we will show integrity, honesty, and kindness. And finally, we can let go of endlessly striving to fit in, working overtime for approval. Check out these amazing promises. In Psalm 5:12, it says that God's going to bless us when we walk in a right path with favor and will guard us with that shield. And Daniel even obeyed in the face of danger, and the king noticed and held him in high esteem and promoted him. Joseph also maintained his integrity in spite of accusations and suffering, and he was promoted and helped save nations. You know, when you grab a hold of your vision and get on your goals in life, you never know what you're going to get promoted to from whoever, just to help others. And it's not just all about helping ourselves. And Esther humbled herself before the king in spite of danger. She was able to help save her people from being wiped out. Also, Ruth lived an honorable existence in order to help someone and was given grace and was blessed. So what are some examples in your own life? Instead of arduous labor to please others through material goods or excessive maneuvers, we can learn to walk in the ways of and stay close to our Savior, then relax and enjoy the fruit. Proverbs 16:7 reminds us, when a person's ways please the Lord, He makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. So that is popularity from my Word Puzzles devotional. Link at the website, nurseann.com. One more devotional, then we'll jump into the other fictional drama, exciting reading. So this is my Energized Health, Body, Mind, and Spirit, because emotional intelligence, our body, mind, and spirit, they all work together in synergy so you can have a productive and successful life. And what I chose from this today was from the section of the mind, and just thinking about forgiving others, because a lot of things come come up in our lives to forgive others and to forgive ourselves. And I read a great book called Sandpaper People, and it's by Mary Sutherland, and it's Sandpaper People, dealing with people that rub you the wrong way, because we encounter that at school, home, work, community. Sometimes people are just angry or going through their own struggles, and they can come across the wrong way. And it's just reminding us to show patience. And some highlights that she taught, she said she offered great insight into dealing with the people in our life, even the so-called annoying ones. Some bullet points, some highlights she encouraged and teach are to be loving even when they're being annoying, and to recognize their worth. Even when people are going through struggles and pushing that on us, they still have value, and we can recognize their worth and show that kindness and love. Be humble, choosing against pride. Sometimes that is definitely part of emotional intelligence, having that humility and thinking about what's going on in our own life also, and how we might be. So being humble, choosing against pride. Be encouraging, being their cheerleader. Even sometimes people that do want to be annoying or whatever, they probably do need that cheerleader in their life, and they're not used to people volunteering or actually doing that, especially if they're pushing people away. So be strong for yourself, develop endurance. There's so many ways we can do that. Part of that is being humble, and be committed, refusing to walk away. That doesn't mean that we accept abuse or stay in relationships that are toxic, but as far as if we have to be in their life or choose to be in their life, staying committed, even if it's not being directly in that circle, there are ways you can still be an example and uplift others while avoiding that negative behavior. So that's from my Energized Health, Body, Mind, and Spirit. So as I promised, we're going to jump into the fictional drama. And as you know, I'm Nurse Ann. I created this fictional drama in my free time as a busy nurse, along with other responsibilities and also ministry endeavors. But this highlights the struggles that people go through in mental health and emergency, as long as our own struggles and life relationships. So to make it cheaper and easier, I put it in one book. It's the Mental Files First 6 Stories edition. You can get this if you want to ride along on this book club. And I also had it made into an audiobook. This is what it looks like on Audible and iTunes. It's the Mental Files First 6 Stories edition by Nurse Ann. It was narrated by Drama Simpson, who brought it to life with siren noises and lots of action, because this series is filled with so much action, because one day with your help, it can be a television drama series. It's just full of action, adventure, advocacy, and awareness, along with danger, suspense, romance, faith, and inspiration. And on this series, you're going to ride along with the frontline workers as they rescue those in crisis of mental, physical, and spiritual. And the shifts are 24/7. You will have to buckle up on this bumpy ride filled with that danger, action, suspense, romance, faith, and inspiration. The Mental Files First 6 Stories edition. And don't forget the audiobook on Audible and iTunes. So we'll jump into the chapter that we're on. We're in book 2, Dr. John Doe. We finished Sheep Among Wolves. And so I'm going to jump into that. I'm not going to go back and explain, because you can listen to the podcast for free at the nurseann.com website, and with any Patreon and podcast tabs. Start from the beginning if you like, or just figure out which ones you want to listen to, because this channel is about inspiring you, giving you inspirational wellness. So make sure you follow this, like it, leave a comment, share it. So we're on chapter 16, Pursuit of Trouble. Now we're getting into the part of the story. Things are starting to get a little bit dangerous, and we're on chapter 16, Pursuit of Trouble. Officer Leon's anger was rising to a dangerous level after the silver car vanished during the pursuit. I will not allow this nefarious criminal to endanger my friends and the young man I'm supposed to be watching over, and especially Lita. God, you know how much I love her. For a brief moment, he was surprised himself that he was already utilizing the power of prayer. Am I starting to believe, he asked himself? This woman is the best influence. I can't let her get away. But first I've got to put these gangsters away for good. Thankfully, his partner had already informed him to meet him on 5th Street. The license plate search had led them back to the same area where they had rescued the girls before. The driver of the silver car was sure he had lost the officers and briefly let his guard down to fill his tank with gas before he escaped to the nearby city to lay low. Looking down at his debit card to insert it for his purchase, he was suddenly surprised at the command to "Put your hands up." Leon's partner cuffed the perpetrator and drove him where he belonged, freeing Leon to go check on the woman who had stolen his heart. I told you this had romance in it, along with danger, action, suspense. You do want to get a hold of this, the Mental Files First 6 Stories edition. There is a link at my website, nurseann.com. That's Ann with an E. I'm going to let you go after you follow, like, subscribe, all that yada yada. Have a great day. Stay emotionally intelligent. See you.